Was there another setting that you modified in OBS to change, get rid of the red?
I just started my stream back up. Go look at my stream.
Okay.
I'm gonna go get back in front of it.
I'm coming.
Let me see. Tell me if I am legit now.
It's opening now. Connecting. Alright, see you. You're pointing at me. Hold on. Yeah, you look more natural. Definitely more natural. I'm seeing a more peachiness, I guess is the word I want to use, in your skin tone that I was not seeing before. You look more natural than you did before. So I think that did it. So what is it that you changed?
I upgraded drivers for everything.
But you didn't change any settings.
What I did was I completely erased the video from my OBS saved platforms. You know, you probably had the same thing on yours where you've saved the scenes and all that stuff.
Yes.
I erased every device, so it didn't have a memory.
You rebuilt everything.
I rebuilt it all, so it didn't have a memory of how that device was configured from the previous version.
Okay.
So I don't know if something about. So it upgraded something about the profile and then it didn't sync or something. I have no idea.
So if I make a new profile, because right now I have a profile called Watson University that has everything that we used and saved. So if I just make a new profile and start over, it should resolve that.
That's what I literally just did, and I don't know how, but it just fixed it.
Okay, that's what I'm gonna do. The next time I need to record, that's what I'll do.
I bet you're gonna end up finding it'll fix whatever your washout is.
I hope so.
That is weird, freaky. Now, one thing I did do is I've added 20% brightness coming from my StarTAC. That is my VGA feed. And how I'm doing it now is I'm using my VGA output of my laptop right here. I've got a PowerPoint running on screen number 2, which is just coming right back into the computer via the StarTAC. And I don't have an actual monitor connected.
Okay.
So that's kind of how I've tricked my system into doing all of it right here just with my gear. Which I would think that, you know, I'm going to get the same feed coming in from the Herv. So if I do this, let me move this out of the way. If I hit this button here, now I should be able to stand back in front of the slide deck. And I should be able to literally change the slides. Let me get myself where I'm supposed to be. And if I was talking to these slides, then I should be able to look and feel just like this, nice and cool, and chillax it. And oh, I'm not supposed to be there on this one, but I am. Oh, he's cool.
Yeah, this is a big improvement. Absolutely big improvement.
And then I'm back.
Yeah, everything's good.
All right. So that looks better than it did. Watching engagements. Go to another cover slide and see what it looks like. Let's go here and get kind of closer to the camera. All right. Now I'm as close as I'm going to get. And you can see the skin tones are all right. Project management. Yeah. You see better with skin tones now?
Absolutely, yeah. And on this title screen, and you move close to the camera, yeah, you look excellent.
And so this is where Herb's been standing, as I got him set up right here. And I just have it saved as a scene with him larger for the startup. And then I have a scene with him smaller in the corner as we go through slides.
Yeah, that's exactly what I did. Same thing.
So
Big improvement.
here's my problem now. Do we turn out the slides we got, or do we I don't know. I don't know that it's even reasonable after 4 days of recording. I mean, 3 full days of recording to even ask Hervey to redo everything we've done.
Well, here's what I would do. So, activity 1, right? That was a video you were mostly able to rescue because it was a majority of mostly slides, right?
Right.
Are there any other videos that are like that where he's on the screen a minimal amount of time and it's mostly slides?
That's the only one where it was literally him introducing and that's it.
Yeah, but are there any other ones where he's, let's say it's like 70-30, 70% slides, 30% him?
No.
Okay.
I have tried to maximize the time he spends on the screen.
Okay. So here's what I'm going to suggest you do. This is how, if I was in your shoes right now, this is how I would handle it. And then you make the call on what you want to do. But this is how I would do it. When I meet with Hervey tomorrow, I'd sit down with him and say, listen, here's what we've recorded. This is how it looks. And then point out the fuzziness in the slides and the red issue with the image. Okay? Point it out. And say, listen, Sean and I worked on this. We figured out the source of it. And then just say, give him an example. Here's the video I recorded this morning of myself. You'll notice the slides are clear as a bell and there's no red. What do you want to do? Do you want to keep what we've recorded with these defects, or do you want to set up another time in a week or so and re-record it? It'll have him make the call. You remember, this is his course. It's a reflection on him. At the end of the day, people are not going to know that you and I are the ones that recorded it. It's going to be Mike Hervey and Ray Lopez that are going to take the heat for this. So I think you need to have him weigh in on the decision. If he says, listen, it's not that big of a deal, we need to get this material out here, and in 2 months we're going to re-record this anyway, then just let it go. And then in 2 months it'll be gone. If he says, no, listen, this is going to be up here for 6 months or 4 months, and I want this to look good, but to re-record it, then that's what he decides.
Okay.
But you got to give him the decision. But lay it out to him. Show him what happens, and you show him that we fixed it, and you let him know. Listen, we had upgrades in software. We thought we had it under control. Sean and I worked on the phone for about an hour and a half. We worked it out. Because we spent a good 90 minutes on this today. But we figured it out. We solved the problem. We had you had to track drivers down and all kinds of nonsense. He'll understand. He's a technical guy. He knows how this stuff works. And then just let him make the call. Do you want to re-record? Do you want to stick with what we got?
Well, the other option I have is to pull a late one tonight, get back to the hotel, pull a late one, and finish editing everything we have and show him the parts that he wasn't on the screen. We don't have to re-record. We'll just re-record the parts that he was on the screen and stitch it together.
I think, honestly, Mark, I don't think that's an alternative. I don't think that's a good strategy. I think we either leave it as it is or we re-record. Because, like I said, this material could only be relevant for 2 months or 1 month, and in 2 months we're gonna have to re-record it anyway.
Well, what I was saying is like the activity 3 is huge, but I would say about half of the time between all 3 of the videos, he's not on the screen. So if I went to him and said, listen, I know we spent 2 days recording this activity. What if we only re-recorded the parts where you were on the screen, because your voice and the layovers for everything else is fine for the parts that you weren't on the screen. That's not the problem, because I could do the visual overlay, and I've proven I can do that. So
listen, that's a question that you're going to have to ask him. But I know as a speaker, I would rather just want to re-record it from start to finish, because to know when I was on the screen or not on the screen, I would just want to roll through it. And personally, now that he's been through it already, it shouldn't take him that long to re-record it. He got the slides fixed. He's already done a run through of it once. It should take half the time.
I would
do it again. But you should ask him. You shouldn't make any decisions for him. You should ask him what he wants to know.
But I think it might be wise for me to finish editing some of these other ones so I could show him what it looks like if we were to just say, okay, leave it.
Well, I mean, you have a bunch that you've already. Well, I guess you don't because we deleted them, right?
I have both versions of the two that I just sent you.
Okay. Well, what about the other ones that we did? We have like what, 3 or 4?
Yeah, I threw like 5 over the fence today. I mean, you know, I guess I can tell him, you know, here's where we're at.
That's what you should do. That's what you should do.
So,
Because there's no sense in you putting in work tonight if he wants to re-record everything. What's that gonna solve? Nothing.
true. Well, let me see what he says. And, I mean, we got the red gone. So, I mean, I'm rock solid clear. We've been streaming this whole time, and you haven't said anything's changed or looked bad.
No,
so
nothing. Let me check now, but because I've been standing in the kitchen talking. But it was fine. I mean, I was staring at you for a good 5 minutes. Everything was solid.
So
Everything was solid.
let me see what he says tomorrow. And
Where's he now? He already went home?
yeah, he had to go over to main campus because he's in an IBM NC State mentoring program.
Yeah.
And he had his mentee had to come over this afternoon.
Okay. Listen, if you